Hello and welcome to NONPLUS Components. I'm Andy. Today we'd like to show you how you can perform a complete hub service on your NONPLUS hub step by step. Today I'll be using an MTB hub as an example. It differs slightly from a road hub. I'll briefly go over those differences later in the video. First, let's lay out all the tools. We have an end cap remover. We need a bearing removal tool, a bearing installation tool. The seal tool is only required for MTB hubs. A mounting block. Additionally, we need oil as well as assembly grease. Optionally, for shim measurement later on, you'll need a digital caliper, or as shown here, a digital depth gauge, and just a standard regular hammer. That's it. We'll begin by removing the end cap. We remove the shim. We set the end cap aside along with the O-ring. Using the bearing installation tool, we can push the axle downward through the hub. We can then remove the freehub body. We then remove the ratchet ring, the spacer, and the spring. We can then pull the axle out from the bottom. Now we set all the parts aside. Before we clean anything, we need to remove all the bearings first, so that the cleaning agent does not cause any damage. The mounting block has two sides. One side is for the freehub body, and the other side is designed for the disc brake side, or for N3W. In this case, we can place it in here. We take the bearing removal tool and carefully tap the bearing out. On the other side, we need to place the ratchet ring underneath to prevent any potential damage. Here as well, we carefully tap the bearing out. We can also remove the seal right away. We set the parts aside. The same applies to the hub body side. Here, it is important to make sure that the hub body is sitting flat. Otherwise, damage can occur when removing the bearings. Again, carefully tap it out. Afterwards, we will now clean all the parts: the ratchet ring, the freehub body, and the hub body. This can either be done in a parts cleaning machine or by using brake cleaner and a small brush. Then, inspect all components for any signs of wear or damage. And if necessary, replace the freehub body and/or the ratchet ring. If there's ever been any slipping in the freehub system, it must definitely be replaced. In this case, we have now cleaned everything. We would now start reinstalling the bearings. We would place the freehub body into the mounting block here. In this case, we are installing high-speed bearings. It is important to note that these bearings have two different seals. In this case, the red sealed side should face outward. Here as well, make sure that it is seated flat and does not become misaligned. The bearing is carefully driven in. Here as well, make sure that the splines are properly aligned and seated together. The sealed side should face outward accordingly, and the bearing is carefully installed. Since we already have the freehub body here, we can install a new seal right away. It is important to note that there are two sides, a thicker side and a thinner side. The thicker side should face towards the ratchet ring. We install the seal from the back side to avoid any damage. Once it is installed, we apply a small amount of assembly grease. We set it aside and can now install the outer bearing and the main bearing. For the main bearing, you also need to use the supplied washer. It is important to make sure the bearing is positioned squarely and remains parallel. Do not install it at an angle. The same applies to the outer bearing. Here as well, install the sealed side accordingly. We can now slide the axle back through the hub body. Next, we reinstall the shim that we removed earlier. The axle should, of course, be clean and free of dirt, wear, and abrasion. We then apply a small amount of assembly grease. We slide the axle all the way through. We can then reinstall the spring, the spacer, and the ratchet ring. Here we definitely need a small amount of oil on the inside of the ratchet ring. We can insert the ratchet ring again. If you want a louder or quieter free hub sound, you can adjust the amount of oil accordingly by applying more or less. It is important that oil is applied, otherwise a malfunction can occur. Afterwards, we can install the prepared free hub body. Here, you need to be a little careful with your fingers. Push it down, and now the seal tool comes into use. As mentioned, this is not the case with a road hub. You place it on, it has a chamfer here, you can insert it. Press down once and then turn it slightly in a circle. This ensures that the sealing ring slides cleanly into the groove. Exactly like that, we have basically already completed the biggest part. Now it is just about compensating for all the tolerances. This is where the shim thickness is determined. In this case, we measure once with the digital depth gauge. We need to measure the distance from the axle to the inner ball bearing ring. We note this value and then measure and record the value of the end cap. The shim thickness is then calculated from these two values. The wheel or the hub should later have approximately 1/10 of a millimeter of play. Once the correct shim size has been determined, we apply a small amount of grease to the ball bearing end. Now we can reinstall the shim and the O-ring. And then we install the end cap. Afterwards, we check the function, free movement. So that completes the hub service. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye. See you next time.